Hello everybody. In this video I'm going to talk about opportunity cost and how two different economic agents decide to specialize and trade. So before we go there, let's quickly look at production possibility frontiers. These were frontiers that showed us possible combinations of the two goods that could be produced. So taking a look at our graph here, I have two people here. So very small economy, only two people, Sarah and Jessica. And each of them can produce number of meals and number of apparels. So it's home production. Any point on the production possibility frontiers for each of them is a possibility. So for example, Jessica here can produce 60 meals and no apparel. That's one possibility for her. Or can produce 4 apparels, this point here, 4 apparels and 0 meals, or any point on the line for her. Same for Sarah. So the question here for us is, what is the opportunity cost of producing one apparel for Jessica? And if you guys remember, the opportunity cost is pretty much this question. To get one more apparel, how many meals must be given up? So looking at Jessica's curve, you can see that I have 2 points picked up here. So a point corresponding with 3 units of apparel and a point corresponding with 4 units of apparel. So if Jessica wants to produce one more apparel, so going from 3 to 4 here in this example, she practically needs to go from this point on her PPF to this point. Now, going from this point to this point, how many units of meals does she need to give up in order to be able to produce one more apparel? So looking at the graph, we should read how many units of meals are here, which is a little bit difficult on the graph because it's somewhere in between 10 and 20. So if you need an exact answer, you should either have a very good graph and a way to measure this line, or I'm going to give you an easier way to do this, and that is using the slope of the line. But here, kind of a ballpark figure is kind of somewhere around 15, maybe a few more, a few less, right? But if you need an exact answer, we need to figure out a different way. But kind of the ballpark answer here is that if Jessica wants to produce one more apparel, she needs to give up around this many units of meals. So easier way to calculate this number is, instead of going from 3 to 4, 1 unit, go from the least apparel point to most apparel point. So least apparel point on Jessica's line would be the point here. So he's producing actually zero apparel. And the most apparel point here is 4. Okay. Now, instead of looking at one more, here we are looking at 4 more, right? Going from 0 to 4. What this enables us to do is to calculate the slope way easier way. So we are basically calculating the slope of this line using these 2 points. And if you look at it, the slope would be this distance, which is 60 meals, divided by this one, which is 4 apparel. So 60 divided 4 is exactly 15. So 15 is the opportunity cost of 1 apparel for Jessica. That's, I think, is an easier way to get into calculating the opportunity cost. Let's practice once more. Let's figure out now Sarah's opportunity cost of producing 1 apparel. So going from the least apparel to most apparel for Jessica, that means going from 0 to 8. And what needs to be given up is 40 meals, right? So the slope of this line Remember, it's always the vertical divided by the horizontal. So it's 40 divided by 8, that is 5. So for Sarah, it's 5, the opportunity cost, and for Jessica was 15. So if I ask you who has the comparative advantage in producing apparel, as you remember, comparative advantage was whoever has the lower opportunity cost. So here in this example, for Jessica, opportunity cost was 15, for Sarah is 5. So Sarah has the lower cost and therefore the comparative advantage in this example. I hope this was helpful, and see you in next videos.